Hello. So my last video I did was about Spider-Man, and it ended up being probably 30 minutes longer than I was expecting it to be originally. Love the movie. And like I said, emotional. So wanted to do another one. This going to be much shorter, just because I don't feel like there's as much to cover in terms of explaining things, and just the fact that I feel like I rambled too much in the last video. But I wanted to get in the Last Guardian. So Last Guardian is a game that came out on PlayStation 4. It was supposed to be a PlayStation 3 game originally, but it got delayed a lot to the point where people thought it was actually canceled because there was a while without any sort of update on the game. And then they finally updated the game and it came out. Game came out in 2016. It just had its 5-year anniversary a couple weeks ago. I was actually going to make a video that day, but just got kind of sidetracked with life, if you will. But I want to make a video because of the fact that it's 5 years old, and I feel like it's a very good, underappreciated game. I call it a flawed, emotional masterpiece. Is what I like to call it. That was the collector's edition I got. Hard steelbook. Also got the statue that came with it. Not sure how well you can see that. It's a little dark in here for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, Last Guardian, like I said, had a long development. So obviously this doesn't have spoilers, being the game's like 5 years old. And I don't know how you would play a game like this without getting into spoilers. So the game is basically a game where you play as this kid who, at the very beginning, you find yourself in a kind of like a castle tower, if you will, with Trico, who is a creature who is I'm not sure if he's supposed to be part cat, part dog, exactly what. I think he's supposed to be part dog, part bird, because he has more of a dog type of body, but he also has like wings like a bird, and kind of claws like a bird, if you will. And basically, you wake up with him. You don't know how you got into this area with the creature. And the creature is really big too. Like I think I said that, but yeah, he's giant. He's not like a normal size creature, as well as the fact that he's kind of like a combination of different creatures. And basically, the goal of the game is you're trying to get to the top of the tower and get out of this place. And there's a few cutscenes throughout the game that kind of explain a little bit more of how you got here, how Trico, the creature, got here, and just kind of what's going on. Very different concept, and very good soundtrack too, throughout the game. Really beautiful, emotional soundtrack to a very emotional game. So the reason I say a flawed game is, like I said, the game had issues. It got delayed a lot. It was supposed to be PS3, became PS4. The camera in the game absolutely sucks, and the frame rate at times can be issues. I did replay it on PlayStation 5 uh, early this year, I think, something like that. And it plays a lot better on PlayStation 5. The frame rate is a lot smoother. On PS4, you have a lot of frame rate going from like 30 to 20, 25 to 20, 20 back to 30, 30 back to 25, that kind of thing. On PlayStation 5, it's a pretty smooth 30. So that's nice. Big improvement to the game. And so I'm kind of glad I replayed it on PlayStation 5 rather than PlayStation 4. I've played the game a few times, and it still makes me emotional. I've seen a few reaction videos to people. Still makes me emotional. I say if you don't get emotional from this game, if you play it, you have no heart. You have no soul. Um, I absolutely love dogs, and so this game really hit me with that because of the way the creature acts, as well as some of the stuff that happens at the end of the game. So in the game, there's these soldier creatures who at times will try to capture you. If they capture you and you don't escape, basically it's like the equivalent of a game over, if you will, and then you relive the game like you would in any other game when you die, basically. Um, Also in the game, there are these weird kind of glass eyeball things that Trico doesn't like. They kind of scare him. When he sees them, he kind of stops in his place. This was one of those moments that just got to me. The emotion, and just was very unexpected. It's basically when a game breaks its own rules. You can find a video about this. I don't remember the creator, but he talked about this himself. And basically, like I said in the game, he doesn't like Trico, the creature doesn't like these glass eyeball things. And yet, there's a time in the game where there's a whole bunch of them being held by the soldier guys or whatever, and you're being kidnapped, and Trico comes and rescues you. Not expecting it, maybe emotional, that he would put himself in, I guess you could say, harm's way, slash, dealing with this fear in order to save you. Absolutely amazing. Then there's another part in the game where that happens a couple times where basically there's like this cage that sends off like kind of like a pulse, and when it does, it controls Trico. When it happens, Trico swallows you, and then later on you get like thrown up or whatever, and and there's a part in the game where after that's happened, you're like, as a kid, you're like passed out on the ground, and Trico is trying to wake you up. At one point, he puts you in like water or something, ends up waking up, but he's trying to wake you up, and it is just absolutely pitiful. The fact that he just will not leave you, and wants to get you to wake back up, type of thing. Um, Another time that made me emotional. Then towards the end of the game, um, when you're getting towards the top of uh, the castle area, and you see this beautiful like sunset. You're just kind of sitting there. You think things are good, and all of a sudden, this tower starts pulsating, and you see a whole bunch of the same species of Trico coming in. Now, earlier in the game, you find out that there's kind of a evil Trico, if you will. He's not really evil; they're just being mind controlled throughout the game. But this one's he attacks your Trico earlier in the game. You guys kind of get separated and stuff. You get back to him, but at the end of the game, when you're up on this castle, like I said, a whole bunch of them get called in. You're fighting, or Trico's trying to fight them and protect you. He actually gets his tail ripped off. At that point, I was getting really emotional. Um, the tail, also, you get like a shield in the game, which kind of causes Trico's tail to kind of shoot lightning, if you will. After he gets his tail ripped off, you're trying to like find it basically, and you do, and that helps. Uh, that helps, and then later on, those Tricos stop fighting and basically get called off. And then the end. The end. I've never cried so hard in my life. From a game. Rather alone like a movie, really. Or not far, or not often at least. The end, I absolutely cried like a baby. I lost it at the end. So at the end, Trico, because you also see a flashback early in the game where Trico had, and this is how you get there, is he had basically been mind controlled to go to a village where the boy live at, and to get taken from there to this castle area. And so that's how you and the creature got there, and the creature along the way got like hit by lightning or something and couldn't fly after that for a little while. He was injured. So that's how you guys get there. At the end of the game, the Trico takes you back to that village. And basically this is where you have to say your goodbyes. The village people don't know what's going on. They don't know that the creature's there to basically rescue you, give you back or whatever. They're basically throwing spears at Trico, and he's hurt and he has to leave because otherwise he's gonna get killed. And um, the boy is basically telling him to like leave, and it's emotional. Absolutely emotional. Like I said, cried like a baby. That's why I say the game is an emotional masterpiece, is what I call it, because it gets to you so much. And despite the fact that the game has crappy camera and frame rate issues, because of those emotional beats and just how unique the game is and the good music, I almost don't care about the issues. um, I mean, I do, but it's something I can look past because of those other things. So it's a game I highly recommend. If you haven't played The Last Guardian, play it. It's different. It's emotional. It's got good music. It'll make you cry. It'll make you care. Yeah, highly recommend. And I just want to make this video because the game's 5 years old. And so kind of an anniversary, if you will. A couple weeks ago, it became that. And I think it's a game that people underappreciate. And yeah, that's the video. As always, thanks for watching. Subscribe below and like and comments as always.